Good afternoon. My name is Chris Rankulem Caesar from a podcast called CRM Podcast. Today we're going to talk about our government. Our government is led by the ANC. And I must say that personally, I am also a member of the ANC, a card-carrying member for that matter. But there are things that we really need to be honest about. And we are saying them from a point of loving the ANC. We are not saying them because we hate the ANC. As Black people, we believed in the ANC. We hoped for the best. We thought the ANC was going to bring about change, bring about development. But the major question is, do we still really think the ANC will improve our government? Or the ANC itself will improve from what it is today? I mean, we all know that the trajectory that the ANC has taken, it is a downward one. Something that we do not want to see happening, but unfortunately it is happening. So we must talk about things that we think are the cause of these challenges that we're facing as the ANC today. And in my view, I think one of the problems that is affecting the ANC is that the ANC does not stand for one firm principle. The ANC has tried to accommodate everyone with different views. Now I'm saying to you, it is impossible or difficult to stand for anything, especially when you promise everybody, even people with different views, that you will lead them. So I think that is one of the most difficult questions that the ANC is experiencing. For instance, just to be practical, the ANC says it will lead and represent people who believe in capitalism in this country. But at the same time, the ANC says it will lead and represent people that believe in socialism and communism. Just there, you immediately know that one must be compromised. Either those that believe in capitalism or those that believe in socialism. But the ANC says, no. We are a big church. We'll accommodate everybody. The ANC says we will be led by pastors, for instance, or we believe in Christianity. But at the same time, the ANC says African spiritualism is also welcomed in the ANC. And also Muslims are welcome to the ANC. I must tell you that as a member of the ANC who's been a member for more than 30 years, I have seen some people given preference by the ANC, consciously or unconsciously. I attended the meeting years ago in the provincial structure of the ANC, or convened by the provincial structure of the ANC. And on Friday, the ANC would allow Muslims to go to the mosque. But come Sunday, every Christian would be told that you do not have a right to tender an apology, or you must be in that meeting. We don't care whether you want to go to church or not. And there, I could identify an element of disparity or people not being treated equally. The other challenge that is facing the ANC, which the ANC doesn't want to talk about, is the question of tribalism. The ANC is facing that challenge, and it doesn't really want to tackle that challenge or to hold the bull by its horns. In 2000, I attended a conference of the ANC in PE. One thing that sticked out in that conference, which I had a problem with, was that one comrade from the Northwest raised his hand to raise an issue. And that comrade addressed the conference in Setswana. You won't believe this. Comrades started shouting, interpreter please, meaning they needed somebody to interpret what the comrade was saying in Setswana. But subsequent to that, a comrade stood up and spoke in isiXhosa. And comrades shouted, which means this comrade is really talking. Now, to me, as a youngster in that conference, I identified that loophole, that there is a serious challenge of tribalism in in an organization that claims to represent everybody. And there are issues that the ANC is not bold enough to address or to tackle. Among or between the Zulus and the Xhosas, some senior comrades told us that there's always been a challenge between the Zulus and the Xhosas, even when they were in exile. But unfortunately, nobody was allowed to raise that issue and to tackle it. But I can tell you today, that issue is still troubling the ANC. So I'm saying there are issues if we are to rebuild the ANC, or those that want to rebuild the ANC. Members of the ANC should be able or should be prepared to take head of, to tackle them without fear or favor, so that the ANC can be restored. But for as long as there are issues that the ANC is not prepared to talk about, the ANC is not prepared to touch on, the issues that the ANC is not willing to address, probably because they think there'll be chaos, or probably because there are certain groups in the ANC who are stronger than others, and there are hooligans in the ANC, and the ANC is not prepared to tackle that. For as long as that is the situation, the ANC will not be able to restore itself. The ANC will not be able to clean itself. So the cleansing process that the ANC is talking about will be something that will never be achieved, at least not in our lifetime. Thank you very much. We'll continue in the next episode talking about the challenges that are facing the ANC. Thank you very much.